Hello, so I'm PT Skills, and we are going to look at the components of blood in this video. As always, get your pen and paper ready, and we are ready to crack on. I'm going to share the screen, and here we go. Okay, so we're looking at blood. It's around about 8% of a body weight. Females have 4 to 5 litres, males 5 to 6 litres, and our blood contains the following components. So we have plasma, erythrocytes, hemoglobin, leukocytes, thrombocytes, and that's basically our blood composition. So if we look at those in detail, it might make a little bit more sense because these are just posh words for things that we already know. So plasma is a straw liquid colour of the blood. Erythrocytes are actual red blood cells. So we always call them red blood cells, but they have a posh name, which is erythrocytes. Hemoglobin is found in the erythrocytes and carries oxygen. So in some of my other videos, I talk about oxygen attaching to hemoglobin to create oxyhemoglobin. So hemoglobin is what carries the oxygen around the blood. Leukocytes are white blood cells, and thrombocytes are platelets. I'm just going to go into a little bit of detail so you've got a little bit more understanding about these 5 components of blood and what they all do on their own. So if we start with plasma, it's the liquid component of the blood. It's kind of straw coloured, carries all other components of the blood, also carries nutrients such as glucose. Then we've got the erythrocytes and hemoglobin. So we know the erythrocytes are your red blood cells, so also known as red blood cells. They're biconcave cells that have no nucleus. They contain hemoglobin, and we know that carries the oxygen. So the oxygen attaches to that hemoglobin to create oxyhemoglobin, and the oxyhemoglobin goes around the body. And when the oxygen detaches, we have the hemoglobin again readily available. Thrombocytes, these are known as platelets. They react to bleeding by gathering and clumping along with fibrin. So if we cut ourselves, the thrombocytes are going to clump so that we don't bleed, and so our wound heals. So basically that's what they are. Their job to do is to stop us bleeding. It creates a net that traps the red blood cells to create a plug and block the cut. So that's thrombocytes. Leukocytes, or leukocytes with a K, white blood cells. So we all know that the white blood cells are for fighting infection. That has 2 parts to it, phagocytes and lymphocytes. Don't really need to know that too much detail, but it's always good to know a little bit more. So the phagocytes kind of envelop, so they kind of go around the pathogens to kind of eat them up, and the lymphocytes create antibodies that destroy the pathogens. So they're kind of attacking the germs from 2 directions. And your task, that was a whistle stop tour, so you may want to go back, stop, pause, stop, pause. So I want you to list the 5 components of the blood. So there's 5 components that I've just listed there, and their functions. You don't need it in massive detail. So for example, you could go erythrocytes, red blood cells attached to, they've got hemoglobin, which attaches to oxygen. You could do just something really, really simple there, just so you know that the white blood cells, they fight infection. So just a brief detail of what the 5 components of blood do. And if you want to do that in a little diagram, however you want to do it, you can take a picture, drop it below, and you can drop any questions below as well. I look forward to seeing your work, and I'll speak to you soon.